All right, we're out here in the Thunderbird pasture today, actually measuring our growth of our plant and what else, and our forage that we have out here. We have a lot of different things that we planted. A lot of this was, most of this was planted last year. Now there's a lot of stuff growing that we didn't plant, and that's that seed bank. And that's stuff that as we heal our soil is going to start to come back just all on its own. And some of this could be seed that's been in here for decades, just hanging out, waiting to be reactivated. Beautiful sunny day. It is warm. We're over 90 degrees right now. We're almost hoping for a little bit of rain, considering we've been complaining about rain. However, our partners who are out haying, not so much into the rain. They're just trying to get this done. Now, right here, I've got some white clover and a little bit of red clover that's in there. And this is a great kind of a cover. Just it grew quick. It's helping keep our soil covered. Day like today, the coverage on the soil is good because it reduces the temperature. We reduce the temperature of the soil. All the little critters and stuff that live in the soil are happier because they're not cooking under there. So we want to keep that nice and cool. So this is where our cattle will be arriving in just a couple of weeks. They're going to be right here. We have the fencing all the way around right now, and then we will divide that up into 15 separate paddocks, and we will rotate the cattle through there. Now, the reason we rotate the cattle through there is we want them to come by. We want them to take a bite of what's here, and then we want them to move. If we leave them too long, they'll basically eat right down to the ground, and there's nothing left of the grass or the plants to come back and grow. And as they bite, one of the things that they do is they bite the plant down. The roots underneath are going to slough off. They're going to feed the soil and the plant's saying, hey, I got to grow. I got to grow my top part. I'm going to break off some of this lower part so I can focus on it. And that's part of what's helping our soil. They eat it, that breaks off. At the same time, they're stomping around. They're doing all kinds of stuff like that. Of course, they're pooing and peeing. That's the important thing. So we're spreading the manure. So one of the things this rotation that we're doing is we're moving them, is what we're simulating is how it was back in its natural habitat, if you will, really starting with the bison. And the bison would move as they were moving and getting better food, better forage as they went. But the other thing that the bison did is predators. So the wolves came after them. And so they would mob together, is what they would do. They'd all get together in one spot and they'd stomp around in there and they'd do all their business. They'd eat and they'd move and they'd eat and they'd move. And so the predators pushed them. They continued to change where they were grazing, not ever overgrazing, moving the stuff. And the other piece, as they moved, their fur or hair really would capture the seed on it and take it with it, and they would spread. They were like the little germination guys. They'd take the seed around and do that. So this rotational grazing, as we call it, is nothing new. It's just going back to the way that it used to work and moving the animals around just like we did that. And we put them in a smaller area. We keep them there. We bunch them up. They get them together. They do their thing, and then we move them. So we're kind of simulating that predator by moving it. So it's another thing kids are going to learn when they come up here for cow camp in a couple of weeks. And we're seeing some really good registration for that. It looks like it's going to be a pretty solid week. Our last week in August is starting to get pretty full. The first week in July, we've got some room for our Scouts BSA. And in the middle, those middle 2 weeks, that's family time. So basically, if you're a family, you want to bring your cubs up, come on up. We're going to scale this down. We're going to have a grand old time. So we look forward to seeing you then.